My name is Janelle Norwood. I completed an internship with the Dibble Institute for the Marriage and Family Studies degree at BYU Idaho University. The mission of the Dibble Institute is simple. Their mission is to empower teens and young adults with knowledge and evidence-based skills to successfully navigate their intimate relationships. Their vision is to strive for a world where more young people are making healthy relationship choices and more children are being raised in safe, stable, and nurturing families. In short, they believe in the power of relationships. On their website, they have a myriad of programs available. Some of the titles of these are Love Notes, Mind Matters, Relationship Smarts, Dating Smarts, Money Habitudes, etc. They have many, many things available. The Dibble Institute was created by Charlie Dibble after attending his niece's wedding. He was concerned about her attitude toward marriage. She made the comment to him, "Hey, don't worry about it. If it doesn't work out, I can always it's only my first marriage." He decided to organize some lesson material that would educate youth and young adults about healthy relationships and how to have a successful marriage. And he kept this vision going through the Dibble Institute. I had certain expectations of what I wanted my internship to be, but I also knew that I was limited because of my location and my personal circumstances. I knew I had to find something that was available online. BYU Idaho has information about internships on their website, so I spent some time learning about the expectations and requirements of the internship, and then I tried to do some research to find things outside of BYU University website and on their website. And because I was struggling to find anything that was online, I reached out to Rodney Mays, who was the internship coordinator for my degree, and he emailed me a list of all the internships that students had used in the past in a PDF file. This list included several online opportunities, which I quickly found out were outdated. My first two choices were rejected for various reasons. And finally, I made it down to the list and found the Dibble Institute, which already ended up being approved by BYU Idaho. So I contacted Brooklyn Money and went through the internship approval process, and it was completed very quickly. They approved it, and I was good to go. My main responsibility was to be available to fulfill assignments as they came to me. This ended up being a very research-based data mining position, really. I spent the majority of the time gathering contact information from schools and gathering information from school districts and high schools around the country and compiling them into a spreadsheet. And that needed to be done for every state. This information is then going to be used for getting the curriculum and the programs into the teenage population around America. And this curriculum teaches and advocates for healthy relationships. And they will be contacting the superintendents and the high school principals. And the teachers are trained to actually teach this in the schools. Occasionally, an additional assignment would come to me. These included proofreading lesson material, timing the lesson presentation, finding photographs and GIFs to help with the lesson material, and finding research to support material used in the curriculum. These were usually pretty short projects that I could finish quickly and efficiently, and then I would be back to gathering contact information. Considering that there are 50 states in our nation, and each of those states has multiple counties, and each of those counties have maybe multiple school districts, which then have multiple high schools within those districts, you can imagine the time and effort and labor behind gathering this information in order to get their content out to as many teenagers as possible. There was a lot of information, and some of that information was not easy to find. Not every school district and high school has a very user-friendly website, and I had to dig for the phone numbers and email addresses. I'm surprised at how many don't list the email address of the superintendent and our principal. And sometimes it was pretty frustrating. It took a lot of work, and I don't know how many interns they have working on this, but getting this information, I learned was very crucial in order to get this curriculum to as many young people as possible. It really, like a lot of the work I was doing, that is how their information is going to get spread. My internship experience was really incredibly frustrating to me because I really wanted to do something that was more connected with a helping profession and working with the public or in a counseling setting. My circumstances limited me tremendously, and I was not able to do that. And so I really struggled to find purpose in all of this information gathering and knowing that that's what I was probably going to be doing for the entirety of my internship. Some of my journal assignments really reflect my frustration about this. Um, and there were many times that it just seemed like a lot of busy work. Even the extra assignments I was given, it just felt like it was kind of a waste of my time. But I had to keep reminding myself that I was helping to lay the groundwork and that was important in order to advocate for the big picture. I learned to appreciate the work that goes into creating a curriculum that teaches and advocates for children and families. It doesn't just appear. There's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes on. In essence, I learned to be patient and I learned to have gratitude. It's a lot of work and requires the work of many hands, and I can proudly say that I was one of those hands. And when these lessons finally make it to the high schools of America, I helped to make that happen. Even the small, mundane tasks contribute to the advocacy efforts for children and families. And I was just extremely grateful that I was able to find this online opportunity and be a part of it. Now, I also learned self-discipline and motivation. I was doing this internship along with being a TA for two different professors and working full-time while being a single mom. I was usually extremely exhausted by the end of the day, but I had to discipline myself to complete those required hours. My research skills were also put into practice more than once, and I was able to be reminded of the importance of supported research. Even though I struggled to make connections between my education and this internship for the past 14 weeks, I have made a connection with something I learned because I use it in many different scenarios. I will never forget when I learned about the story of self, the story of us, and the story of now by Marcia Barlow, a presentation that she gave. It was important to me to be involved with an organization that I could connect with in each of the following three areas. The story of self allowed me to decide if the mission of the Dibble Institute aligned with my own values and desires on my journey of advocating for families. I did not want to intern with an organization where I didn't agree with their purpose or how they were working to fulfill that purpose. And even though my options were limited, I still wasn't willing to just accept any internship if it didn't align with what I believed. The story of us helped me see how the organization was helping people as a whole and as individuals. Could I see the value in what and how they were advocating for children and families? Were they multifaceted? The story of now helped me to determine if this was an organization that I could affiliate with even after my internship. What could I learn from them now that would be a benefit to children and families in the future? This internship would be great for students that have limited options. It was convenient and flexible. I was able to complete my hours according to my own schedule, and the internship was completely online. So if you are a student that has limited options and needs an online internship, I would definitely recommend this organization. On the other hand, if you are looking for a more in-depth internship working with people, putting your learned skills and education into practice, and really seeing how the helping profession works, I would recommend you find a different organization to work with. There was no face-to-face, person-to-person interaction. I did not have the opportunity to practice the helping skills that I had learned in school. I often felt like I was wasting the education I had just completed. That being said, the organization was great. Brooklyn was incredibly easy to work with. She was encouraging and accommodating. I had great expectations for my internship. I had read that many times jobs are secured through internships. I was excited to use the skills I had learned in my classes. This just wasn't the case for my situation, but I learned that's okay. Things don't always go as planned. I am grateful that an online option was available for me, and I learned that lessons can be learned in small, simple, and unexpected situations.